Hello Chromian, and welcome to this tutorial and troubleshooting guide on how to deploy to Chromia. We'll be setting up a Hello World DApp and deploying it to Testnet, as you can use similar steps when you're ready to deploy to mainnet. Let's start by heading over to the docs. We want to get started. We've already set up the development environment in another video. The link is in the description. Today, we'll create a simple Hello World DApp. And we can already see the essential command, chr create rel DApp. Now, you can also click the link and follow the instructions there using our VS Code extension. Underneath, it's the same thing that happens, so you'll end up with the same result. But I'll just go ahead and type chr create rel DApp. We could have specified a custom name afterwards, but the default name is myrel DApp. So I'm going to open that one up. We can see we have some source code, we have main, there are some tests. You can build it. You can test it. And great, it looks like everything is working. Now, what you want to do is to deploy your DApp to Testnet. First, we're going to need some tokens. Again, you can follow the docs, or you can go directly to faucet-testnet-chromia.com. You need to connect your wallet. I'm already connected. Just checking that I'm connected with the correct wallet. Let me connect with Hello Chromia World and requesting tokens. Account not found. I'm not a robot, and we can go ahead and create the account. Perfect. We're even already funded with 1,000 tokens, so that's great. Okay, let's see the next step on our journey to deployment. We got testnet tokens. Get started with testnet deployment. Get a container for your DApp. First, what we're going to need is we're going to need a key pair. Let's do that. What should we call it? Anything will do, really. I'll call it Hello Chromia Key. All right, we now have this key right here. That's going to be useful when we go to get the container. Testnet staking page. Container lease, and it has moved over to Vault. Let's hop over there immediately. All right, just want to be sure that I'm connected with the correct account. I want to connect with this one. Yes, we're leasing a container. Let's put it in blue. And here is that key we just generated. So we can go ahead and lease the container. We're going to MetaMask to confirm. Perfect. We now have a container. Let's go back. Okay. And now deploy your DApp to Testnet. You're going to need this deployment snippet for the Chromia YML. And it belongs right here. Before we proceed, let's quickly verify the directory chain grid we just pasted in with the Explorer. we need testnet, system cluster, directory chain, and this is the ground truth verified BRID of the directory chain. So go back here, paste it right in, and as we can see, it is in fact the exact same BRID. Okay, next we want the container ID. Just go back and get it where you got it. Copy and put it in right here. And save. Perfect. Now you're ready to deploy. Let's go and get the command to do it. We're going back into the docs here. The config file described here is quite useful. I'll show you why in a moment. Let's try the deployment command without it first. The blockchain is not called Hello, it's called my rel DApp. Yes, it's the Chromia YML, and it's testnet. Now, this fails because we didn't supply the key for the container we're deploying to. You absolutely could supply it by providing key ID like this, but you'd have to do it every time you want to touch the container or do anything with this deployment. Alternatively, we can declare it as a default key in that config file so that it's automatically included in calls without us needing to specify it every single time. Oh, now I made a folder. Let's remove that and make a .chromia folder instead that we can put the config file inside. And here it is. What we're going to do is we're going to key.id equals hello Chromia key, just like we had here. And now we can try one more time to run this, and let's see. Yes, we want to deploy. This time it failed with another error. A blockchain with the same name already exists, and of course, we never changed the standard name, and that needs to be unique. So let's put something unique in there. All right, there. I'm going to save it. Let's put this up here. And let's try one more time. Yes. This time, it's not a name conflict, but there's another blockchain with the same RID. Now, the RID is a hash of your code. So if another blockchain has the exact same code, you'll get a conflict there. And again, we didn't change anything from the default, so of course, we're running straight into that conflict. But this is really easy to fix. We can simply add a couple of spaces. That's enough to make the code unique. Let's try one more time. Awesome, that worked. Now we need to take this chains tag with the deployment BRID. We want to put it here like that. This way, you can target your deployment if you want to update or change anything in the future. Okay, so far, so good. What now? Let's do a CHR query. What have we got? CHR query, hello world. Let's do that. And we got hello world just as expected. We can also do a transaction. Let's change the name to a silly one. Posted and confirmed. Let's check it. Perfect, it's working. Now let's say we want to update the code. Let's make a small change here. We want to build it. And this was our deployment create. But this time we're going to update. Okay, let's now try and query and see what it says. But it still just says hello. We were expecting it to say hello again. In my experience, we just need to wait one more block before it goes through. So let's try one more time. And hello again. Yes, exactly. Just needed one more block and it's there. Okay, now one thing I want to show you. Sometimes you may encounter an undefined issue with a deployment or a transaction where there's no clear error message because it's still pending when it returns. But if we head over to the Explorer, if we navigate to a specific chain, directory chain for instance, we can filter to just show the rejected transactions on that chain. Here are two. They look a bit older than our failed deployments, but let's inspect them further. Yes, this one was a failed voting proposal. What about this one? Ah, this one looks fine. We need to apply the rejected filter again. Let's see if we can find our deployments that failed. Could it be in one of these blocks maybe? Here's a transaction read. Let's see what happened. This one looks fine. This one also looks fine. Okay, let me just take a transaction read to demonstrate what I mean. We need the docs again. And we're looking for the Postchain API. Let's try this top hit. No, that's not what I meant. No Postchain in here either. Let's search one more time. Troubleshooting, CLI, another CLI, Rust client. Ah, we actually want these REST tools. Great. This is exactly what we were looking for. Let's filter for transaction. And this is exactly how to get the status if you only got the pending transaction read instead of the full transaction result. Let's put our read in here so we have it. We can't just run it here as we're targeting testnet while this is set up to connect to a local host. But we can construct the call in our terminal, so let's do that. Curl and the testnet node. And what was the rest? Let's just see. Then /tx /directory chain read /transaction read status, and boom, confirmed. And that's how you query the status of a transaction, which is especially useful if you don't yet know the outcome. So curl, blockchain node, tx, here's the directory chain grid, transaction grid, status, and you're good to go. Let's try the Explorer one more time and see if our rejected transactions have turned up yet. And indeed, there are now more recent rejected transactions. Yes, it was the conflicting blockchain grid from the identical code. Let's just grab the transaction grid and see if we can fetch the status from our terminal. And just as expected, we have now verified that this transaction failed and the reason why. If you have any deployment or transaction issues, it can be great to use this Postchain API directly like this, so you have a clear picture of what's going on. And this concludes our deployment and troubleshooting tutorial. Well done on sticking here till the end. As usual, I highly recommend you play around, look into the docs, and build stuff on Chromia. Connect with our community or leave a comment right here. Remember to like and subscribe so you get the latest tips and updates. And I'll see you again in the next video.